good. Okay. Live stream is on. It's muted. It's unlisted. We're recording here. Original sound is on. And our microphone's in. Okay, group. I would love to hear from those of you out in the audience who are watching this on recording, as well as you guys here in class with me live today. What is, when you're making a decision about your class schedule, is the reason this class has fewer people joining us live than my other classes. So I'm just curious if this time, this 10:30 time, is a problem, mostly because it's early in the morning when a lot of people are doing their academic classes, or if it's at all a problem because it starts at a slightly off schedule time, right? On Wednesdays, we usually start on the hour for most of our scheduled classes. So if you guys could please let me know that. What is it that makes this time slot hard to schedule for other folks for your schedule? Okay, mostly just because I'm trying to think about what I am going to do in terms of streaming next semester. So a lot of you guys I know are enrolling in classes right now, and in the spring semester of 2022, we're gonna have, I'm just on campus for my dance classes, and then my core fitness and my yoga class are going to be in this same asynchronous format. So it's on the books, it's scheduled as just asynchronous, so I could just put all videos and playlists up. In fact, I'd really love to hear your feedback about that. Because me Zooming live with you guys is something that I just do because I think it's more enjoyable, and it's nice to spend time with you guys and get to see some of you a little bit and get to know you. But it's not required, so I'd love to hear your feedback about whether you guys prefer having a live Zoom or a recorded Zoom, or you are just as happy with videos. For example, sometimes you have a video to work out from that is just a pre-recorded Zoom, and sometimes if you folks have been doing that the whole time. So I'd love to hear your feedback, everyone, about what makes a class, this format, better or worse for you. And this is just your personal opinion, but it's nice for me to know when I plan next semester. Okay, with that done, let's work out. Sound check okay, you guys? Can you guys hear me okay over the music? Can you hear the music okay? All right, and do you guys have any special requests? All good? Okay. Let's go ahead and come on out to your space. Your now spider-free space, since everybody had time to get rid of your giant spider friends. That was a big one, guys. Starting up your trackers. For those of you with a tracker like this, I usually use either Pilates or, what's it called? There's a strength training one. It's not the one with the lifting stick figure. Functional strength training, that's the other workout I use to track for this. They're all kind of the same in that they're mostly tracking your movement in space and your heart rate, but the name that I use is that. Just waking up your hip sockets today. Start to think about lifting up from your pelvic floor, holding in your core. Let's take our legs to the back. Notice, go ahead and put your hands on your pelvis and notice whether you're really swirling those hips or if you can keep them mostly forward. And come out wide, big breath in. And lean it over to your right, stretching the right side body. And curve to the front with your hands, pulling your belly button back, lifting up in that pelvic clock. Over to the opposite side. Stretching out to the left. Up center. Drop those hands down. And knees wide as you drop your chest forward. Bringing your hands over your head, letting your upper body open. Hands to your pelvis and roll back up, starting with your pelvic floor, then upright pelvis, lower back stack. Shoulders, straighten those legs and bend, big plie. Opening up your hip sockets. Just let your upper body twist, still thinking about lifting up and in. And you can add some fluidity through your knees. Just push those clouds out of your day. And I'm bending and straightening one leg or both legs. Let it be a little free. If you notice somewhere that's a little tight in your body, that's all right. Let it move out. Arms up over your head. Check back in with that core and that lift. Come down center. Straighten the legs, roll your shoulders. Feet right underneath your hip bones. Go ahead and lift that right leg, keeping the square, that rectangular torso. Switch sides. Don't let this hip lift. Go ahead and check it. Make sure it hasn't come up. Switch sides. Bring that knee up. Lift the hip. Drop it down. Holding onto your core. Working that balance. Switch sides. And you'll notice for this one, I'm leaving my standing leg straight. Trying to keep this thigh up as high as possible. So that works all the supportive muscles on this hip. Take it down. Standing back on your left leg, right knee up, bend, and straighten through your left leg, bend. Make sure your knees and toes are going in the same exact direction for this action. So if you're feeling discomfort in that knee, you might want to look down at it. Make sure you're tracking knee over toe. Switch sides. Knee and toe straight in the same direction. One more. Woo, getting tired there for me. Open it up. Taking your hands on your pelvis, send it back. I'm going to go diagonal so you can see my lower back. Neutral, curve. Neutral, 6 o'clock. Neutral, curve. Neutral, lifting up, 6 o'clock. Thinking about that Pilates scoop in. Curve, be precise and neutral. Take it back and neutral. And curve. Try and hold on to that curve. If your legs are straight, it's super hard to get any sort of curve in here at all. Go ahead and soften those knees and tuck it even more. Just to feel that tuck, yeah? So you could like rest a little piece of bread there on there, yeah? All right, find neutral. So your legs are pretty straight. Comfortable turnout of the thighs, which means wherever it feels good to be for you, as long as your knees and toes are in the same direction, yeah? We're going to do our Horton exercises, so we're going to lengthen the lower back and we're going to try and stay towards 12 o'clock, but at least neutral. Send your hips over to the right. We'll do 4 slow counts over, 4 slow counts up. On count 8, we're going to switch the hips to the other side. 4, yeah? We'll do, actually let's do hips to the right. So we'll do hips right, hips left, hips right, hips left. Then we'll do 2s, same thing. And then we'll do singles. And remember that your hips here are not to be the counterbalance. So you're going to be leaning out. Think about lengthening from your pelvic floor to your top of your head And when you come back up, you're gonna leave that pelvis here. Give it a try. Leave it there and bring your rib cage up. So you end up with this curve, and then we switch it. And then long out. You wanna be, in a perfect world, you'd be perfectly flat, but nobody's gonna be there. I have no expectation of that. So if you're gonna err on the side of being slightly forward rather than back, we don't want this to go into your lower back. Here we go, we're going. 1, 2, 3, 4. Arm choices, 4. This one's the most challenging. This is medium. Arms down is the easier version. 2, 3, 4. Stay long. Up. 2, 3. Squeezing in, and 4, 3, 2, 1. Come up. 3, 2, 1. Switch over. 3, 2, 1. Up. 4, 3. Really use those obliques. 1. Switch 2 counts. 2. Up. 2. Hips over. 2. Up. 2. Switch over. 2. Up. 2. Switch over. 2. Up. 2. And single and single and single and hip, 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 single and hip. Shake it out. Come on to the back of your space, wherever you have length in front of you. We're gonna do monster walks, so we're gonna take our hands in and back. Elbows are nice and close. We're gonna sit down as low as we can. Get your booties out there behind you. Lifting up through your pelvic core. Did I just make up a new term? Pelvic core. We're gonna step out diagonally, stay low, and bring your feet together, step together. Got little monster arms here, or T-Rex arms. Staying low. Notice if you come up to come down. Yeah, we don't want to do that. We want to stay low. How's that scoop? How's that lift? Can you pull in and together? Monster walks. Notice if there's a particular part of this process during which you want to rush, like perhaps right here when you're switching weight or when you're bringing it back close. If you feel your body wanting to rush, try and think about that spot a little more. Try and stay a little stable through that era. Knees and toes, same direction. Last time up and back. Big steps, nice and low. Monster walks. All right, good. Shake it off. Next thing we're going to do are start kicks. So we're going to stand on one leg. Let's go ahead and stand on our left leg so we can kick our right leg. We're going to pull up and in and be as tall as possible. So that means we're going to think about lengthening belly button and floor up, pressing into the standing leg. And you're going to take your right leg, you're going to kick it in the shape as though you were standing on a big asterisk. Yeah? All those eras. So we're going to go front, center, diagonal, center, side, center, diagonal, back, center, back. That's one set. We're gonna do, let's start with 5, yeah? This leg is bending and straightening. This leg is staying straight the whole time, so this is about balance, yes? Out, center, diagonal, center, straight to the side. Don't lift your hip, diagonal back, center, and straight back, center, to the front. Number 2, side, diagonal back, straight back. Are you wobbling? Can you think about locking that hip horizontal? Horizontal? How's your scoop? How's your lift? All right, let's switch sides. Standing on the other leg, remember don't lift the hip with the leg that you're lifting up. So nice horizontal, weight is shifted fully onto that foot. Here we go, and out, and close, diagonal, and close to the side. How's your scoop? Shoulders back, and straight back, front, here you go. Diagonal to the side, take it to the back. How's your standing leg? Are your hips wobbling? Do you feel squeezing? Is there a burn in a good way? Is your leg long when you're standing on it? Are you feeling up and lifted and diagonal back? Here we go. Last one and forward. Hips horizontal, friends. Good. Shake it off. All right, big breath in, we'll go. Curve everything. Can you get your shoulder weight over your hips? So you're curving behind yourself. And neutral. Shoulders down. Lift it in. And arch. Ribs forward. Shoulders and hips are still on top of each other. Still lifted up through the pelvic floor. And neutral. Curve. Neutral. How's that squat going? And neutral. Curve. And neutral. How's that squat going? And neutral. Curve. Are you moving your lower back in neutral? Curve. And rise up. Same thing wide. Neutral. Curve. Neutral. Arch. Neutral. Curve. Neutral. Arch. Neutral. 12 o'clock. Neutral. Arch. One more. Neutral. Curve. Neutral. Arch and head goes down. Head. Neck. Shoulders. Articulate the spine. Move one vertebrae at a time. We come out. Knees to the floor. Arch up. Pull your shoulder blades back to really open that heart forward. Tuck your chin in to lengthen the neck back. Press back. Wide child's pose. Rise up, lifting up from your center. Curve up. Hinge back. Lengthen through both knees. Have a little thigh stretch here. Pull those cores in. And then wiggle, tip your hips side to side, really opening up the thighs. Before we go on, chest back, open hearts, maybe bend one elbow and the other. All right, gather it up. Curve. Swim forward. Flat back. Take your legs long, open up. Elbows stay against the body as you bend down. Lift that scoop in, make sure your core stays nice and tight and flat here. And we're gonna just press up into a modified wide plank. Push, lower down. Your elbows might wanna go out to the sides, don't let them. Your booty might wanna go out in the air, don't let it. Good, press back. Open up your chest, walk your fingertips forward, let your buns come up in the air and get the most heart opening, armpit opening stretch you can. Lengthen the back of your neck by tipping your chin down and tucking it in. So you're looking at the mat between your elbows. Hips back, roll up, use your core to pull back. Good, 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 good. Big breath. Tip it back, feel the stretch in your thighs, lengthen them, zip up, zip up, zip up. Open those knees as you widely stand. Come to flat back, shoulders anchored down, hold your core, hold your core, hold your core, hold your core. Hands down, nose, chin, chest. Come up. And into a full wide plank. Elbows micro bend, breathe. Press back into a wide downward dog. Walk each leg, letting your hamstrings open, rolling your shoulders back. We're gonna walk forward. This is a bear walk. When you get to the front of your space, you're gonna take a hand out. You're gonna snatch a salmon out of the water and eat it because you're a bear. And then you're gonna walk back, yes? Of course, you're keeping your core in and lifted the whole time. Bear walks with sushi at the end. Here you go. Alternate sides. Rawr. Give me that salmon, delicious. Take it back home. Shoulders back, core in. Bear walks. It's much more fun if you make a ridiculous eating noise at the end, I promise. Shoulders back, core in. Okay, come back, bears. Knees down. Tuck those toes. Rise up, articulate the spine. Big breath in, knees together. Exhale, curve, hinge. Sit it all the way down. Lift that chest up. Think about your pelvic floor. Twist behind yourself and stretch. Lift up and in, switch sides. Lifting up through your pelvic floor, Pilates scoops in, twist to the other side, rotate your rib cage. Come on up. Here we go, big breath in. 12 o'clock pelvis. Rise up, press floor, and hinge again. Dive through, dive down. Elbows in, nose to chest. Press to modified plank, lower down, press back. Stay low, belly's in, roll up again, start. Rise up. Swim through, shoulders back, elbows in, nose to chest, press up. Lower down, stay low, press that floor, elbows in, come home. Last one, and hinge. Come up. Uh-oh, stay there. Squeeze the legs towards each other, tuck. Pull it in, tuck, tuck. Lean back, here you go, dive forward. Find flat back hover. Pull your shoulder blades down towards your hips. Squeeze in, legs squeezing together more. Find your breath, lift your core. Dive through, go nose, chin, chest, press it up. Last one to come home, nice and low. In. Tuck your toes, elbows down on the floor, hold hands and up to your dolphin. Bend both legs, knees almost touch. Let's check in with our forearm shape before we go on. So you want those elbows to be right as wide as your shoulders. They're gonna try and sneak wide, yeah? So hold them as wide as your shoulders. A little squeeze in your pecs here. And we're gonna lengthen through the legs. Keep your core hollowed out as you tuck and look at your belly button. And then untuck, keep that core tucked, shoulders back, knees down. Press up through the pinkies. And elbows down. Up with the core, straighten legs. Press your chest towards your toes, come back. Shoulders back, tuck your body in, knees down, roll up, and grab your hands, bring them back together underneath you and straighten your legs. Up. Knees almost to the floor, but then straighten again. Exhale, tuck them down, shoulders back, hollow core, straighten, and bend. Are your knees parallel? Take it down, slide out. Whee! 5-second nap. I'm serious. Find all the relaxation you can for this little tiny moment. Feel your heart rate
Notice if your shoulders are still tight. How's your lower back? Are your legs lying funny? Just witness. Getting to know your body. All right, let's pull our scoops in and release. Lift your pelvic floor. Pull your scoop in and release. Lift your pelvic floor. Pull your scoop in. Lengthen your lower back, so that's going towards a neutral or even towards a 12 o'clock spine. Release your lower back. Release your Pilates scoop. And release your pelvic floor. Everything's a noodle. Noodle out, yes? Think of yourself as like an overcooked egg noodle just flopping on the ground. Okay, here we go. Coordination, floor, pelvic floor. Pilates scoop. Lengthen that tailbone. Straighten those legs. Release the legs. Release your pelvic position. Release your Pilates scoop. Release your pelvic floor. Pelvic floor. Pilates scoop. Lower back and pelvis. Legs. Undo your legs. Undo your pelvis. Undo your scoop, but not your floor. And now your pelvic floor. We'll go floor, scoop, pelvis, legs. Undo legs, undo pelvis, undo scoop, undo floor. Floor, scoop, pelvis, legs, undo scoop, undo, scoop, and floor. Add your pelvis, check back in. Draw those legs long and together. Just stay there. Find a healthy place of your chest. I'm going to move my chest up over my elbows. Be careful of the temptation to slouch here and poke your shoulders forward, yes? If you're up like a sphinx, then be up like a sphinx. Pull those shoulders back, be proud. Put your paws out like you had a paw claw manicure. And then check back in. Is your floor up? I lost mine. Can you scoop some more and lengthen that tailbone? If I'm really lengthening my tailbone here, I might be able to get my belly button off the floor. Take some time. Feel your insides. How's your scoop? How's your floor? Lifting up through that pelvic floor, deepening that scoop, lengthening through the legs, lengthen through the toes, and lengthen through your claws. Good, good. Take it down, flat. Relax the legs, relax the back, relax the scoop, relax the floor. Reset. We're going pelvic floor. Pilates scoop. Pelvic lengthen. Legs lengthen. Back up. Take your time. Elbows in, shoulders back. Long back of the neck. We're going to stay here. Check that pelvic floor one more time. Don't rest just in your elbows. Press your claws down, 2. And we'll go right leg. Pulse. 3. Down on 4. And left leg. Pulse. 3. Down on 4. And right leg. Pulse. 3. Down on 4. And left leg. Pulse. 3. Down on 4. If this bothers your knees at all, try not bringing your heel quite as close to your butts. Now we want the legs to go straight up in the air here. You might have a habit of going in or out. Straight back. And release it. Roll onto your side, my friends. Let's set up nice and neat today. We want the whole back to be nice and flat. And in order to work with a super flat back, we're going to bring our knees all the way forward, yeah? So a right angle between your thighs, like a tabletop on the thighs, and you're sitting up straight in your chair. Before we move on today, let's think about our shoulders. We usually set up this first, but I want you to feel your shoulders here. Most of us in this position, we have a super kinked neck. It's just the way it is. But thinking about your shoulder rolling back and pressing down behind you into the mat, feel how you can lengthen the neck, yeah? I used to sometimes say that you want to not let this space collapse here. You want to pull it down so that like Toto could just hop through. Can you imagine a little tiny floofy dog? Yeah, make room for Toto. Shoulders down. All right, let's set up the rest of the body. Pelvic floor lifts up. Pilates scoop lifts in. Feel your weight on your hips. Make sure both hips are on the ground. Now, different body shapes here really change how this feels. So if
if you have smaller pelvis than your shoulders, it will feel different than my situation, which is my hips are definitely as large as or larger than my shoulders. So today, for an added challenge, I'm gonna lift my ribs off the ground for part of the time. That's a lot more work, yeah? But I don't wanna be lifting so high that I'm curving. I wanna be just lifting so that I'm making, in fact, I'm gonna put my hand down for this one. Shoulder down, but I'm laying on the side of my arm and I'm gonna lift my ribs here, yeah? So I'm trying to be nice and square. There's that rectangle shape, and my top leg's gonna open and close. Just top leg. Just top leg. Okay, straighten it out. Keep your hips still. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Drawing up through the torso, reaching out through the heel. And bend and straight and bend and straight. Can you take a look down at that thigh? Even though it messes up your neck position, and want to keep that thigh parallel to the ground, not dropping or rising. All right, back to one. We'll go open and close, open and close. Check in, open and close, open and close, and straight leg, lower and lift, lower and lift. Lower and lift, lower and lift, lower and lift, and bend and straighten, bend and straighten, bend and straighten, bend, bring it forward, and open both legs, close both, open both legs, close both, and clam, closed. 5, 6, shoulders down. 7, 8, okay, straight leg, little circles. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and bend, kick it back. Bend and back, keep your torso still. So you're just really squeezing the glutes here. Doot, doot, doot. How's your pelvic floor Pilates scoop? Lifted rib cage, bring it forward. Take it across the body. Number 4, stretch on your side. Press that knee open. Let the hip stretch. Roll your hips back, your top hip behind the front hip, and that'll deepen that stretch. Big deep breaths. Breathe into it. Let that tension go. All right. Take that leg long. Come back up to your hand. I'm going to point my pointer finger up. Is that right? Yeah. Pointing the pointer finger up in the same plane as my spine. Elbow's going to point that way, down and behind myself, yeah? So if you're up here, it's gonna be a lot less comfortable, yes? Rotation of the shoulder socket, down and back. Come on, up to your plank. If your knees are way in front of your hand, move your hand forward. That'll make that plank nice and flat. Side plank on the knees. Extend the leg, lift it, bend it, down, hips down. Lift it up, swoop that leg, bring it back. Take it down, lift it up, swoop that leg, I'll bring it back, I'll take it down. Swing it up, lift that leg, bend it, I'll take it down. I'll sweep it up, lift that leg, I'll bend it, and take it down. Let's switch sides. Yes? So we just did a lot with that. Hips, so go ahead and let it roll out on the ground a little bit. Use your mat as a massage. We're going to come set up on the floor again. And instead of our, well, let's set up in exactly the same way we did last time. So thighs straight forward, lower back nice and long, lifting up here. And just for a second, just to feel that
shoulder positioning with your hand under your skull. Yeah, and then we're gonna go ahead and lay the arms sideways, lay the head on the arm. Lift your rib cage up. I'm gonna take an inventory for those of you, especially gentlemen with broad shoulders. If this feels like it's not a thing for you, it might not be a thing for you to lift your ribs up. I'm not sure. But in any case, I want you to think about especially this bottom shoulder, but both shoulders anchoring down the back. So you're pulling your shoulder blades down, and that's what gets my waist off the floor here. One leg, 2, 3, heels together, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Straight leg goes up and down. 3, think about that rectangle in your torso. Pelvic floor, lift it back up. Scoop, lift it back in. Bend and straighten, we go bend. 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 Back to the front. Open and close. Open and close. Straight leg. Check in with your torso. And bend. 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 One last set of all 3. Woo! Getting burny now. And straight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and bend. Bend. 2, 3. Even hips. Lift your core. Bring it front. Let's stretch it first before we do the final stretch. Woo, final set. Woo! You can grab a handful of marshmallows and tap it out if it got pretty tight there. Sure did for me. This is definitely my weaker side. Do you feel like you have a weaker side? It's also good to know that when we're doing these one-sided leg things, this side is, the bottom side is doing the work to brace you against the floor. So the second side is always going to have a little bit of a more exhausted, more fatigued starting point. All right, last set, we just do one set of these ones. Here we go, we're going to do the both leg versions. And it's open, close. Woo-hoo! All right, straight leg circles. Really stabilize through your core. I don't know about you, but my leg wants to drift forward. That's because the muscles on the side of my hip are tired, and so my tensor fascia lata wants to do the work for them. All right, bend it, press it back. Whole thigh, think about your whole thigh going back, but not the hip. Push, push, big glute squeeze. Glute, 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 glute. You got it. Bring that leg forward. Woo. Press the knee out. And as you're ready, roll it open. Let me move my mic back. Go ahead and enjoy that spinal twist for a stretch while I move my mic back. We'll come onto our back after this.
onto your back. We're going to leave our feet on the floor. Do your little check with one big toe touching the other foot. Yeah? Book, book. So that you know your heels are apart, but not more than about 4 inches apart. Your heels are lined up with your hips, your hip bones. Go ahead and put your fingertips or your hands on each hip bone. And today, just rock side to side. Find middle and then rock through your pelvic clock exercise. 6, neutral 12, neutral 6, neutral 12, neutral 6, neutral 12, neutral 6. All right, relax that. Relax everything. And then go ahead and lift in your pelvic floor. Pull that little string up inside yourself. Squeeze to it. And we're going to curve to our 12 o'clock pelvis with our scoop in. We're going to take both legs up to 90, so knees over your hips or over your belly button. That makes it a little bit more doable. I really want you to even think about, keeping that pelvic floor lifted here. You can hold on to your thighs if you want a little bit of support, or we're going to just take one leg up and down. But the leg motion is easy, yes? The hard part is scoop in and pelvic floor lifted. That's the real challenge. You can hold on to your legs to give yourself a little bit of support with your fingers if you like, yeah? Go ahead and just touch down and lift up, and touch down and lift up. Keep on going, touching down and lifting up. Re-engage your pelvic floor lift each time. And if you want to exhale as you lift up and then think re-engage the pelvic floor, exhale, lift up, re-engage the pelvic floor. Just really take your time with that one because there's so many little details here you're coordinating. You can close your eyes if you like. Check in with your lower back. Check in with your Pilates scoop. Going for a nice quiet walk. All right, bring your knees to your chest and rest. Obviously, I wasn't breathing enough because now I'm yawning. More oxygen. All right, pressing those knees to your chest. Go ahead and lift in and out through your pelvic floor. Re-engage your scoop. Scoop. Exhale, head, neck, and shoulders come up. Exhale as you lift your shoulders. And check in with yourself again here too. Can you lift your pelvic floor up? Can you hollow out your scoop a little more? And then as you exhale, let the air, as you rise, let the air come out of your chest. So you're hollowing out as much as you want, as much as you can. You can keep a hold on those thighs. And same exercise as before, but now your head and chest are off the floor. Exhale as that knee comes in. Reset every time you get back to center, because this one's a challenge to keep your scoop and your pelvic floor in. Reset. 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 Last one. Head, neck, and shoulders down. Extend those legs up and just bicycle in the air, loosening up the back of your legs. It's okay if your legs don't get all the way straight here. That's no problem. We're just softening up. All right. Soften everything for a second. Let the blood run out of your feet. Give them a little jiggle. This is one of my favorite things to do after a long flight or a long day on my feet is just shake, shake, shake all the blood out of your ankles and your feet. Yeah, especially if I know, not many of us have gotten back to flying yet. Shake all that energy, all the little platelets that maybe got stuck in the tiny little capillaries in the bottom of your feet if you're feeling a little swollen. All right, big breath in. Big exhale. Lift through your pelvic floor, hollow out your transversus abdominis, and let's just do hip ups. Hip up. All right, I'm going to put my hands on my head today for our hip ups, and I want you to Feel whether you are. Some of us tend to lift our shoulders up a little bit while we're doing hip ups. I want you instead to grow your head and spine towards your hands, towards the top of your head. So hip up, lengthen the spine. 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 It doesn't have to be actually visible motion. I just don't want you to do this. Watch my shoulders here. Yeah, a lot of us get stuck pinching the pectoral muscles. All right, hip up and hold. Hip up and hold. Pilates scoop. Check it. Pelvic floor. In. Legs lengthening. Holding. And release. Go ahead and take your knees to the side again. Open your arms up wide. Big spinal twist. Juicy spinal twist. If you're not feeling enough of a twist and stretch in your back yet, scoot your shoulders in the direction of your knee. That should give you more of a twist. If it's too much, then both legs. Use your bottom leg to support your top leg. If it's not enough, another way you can increase it is by extending your lower leg long below you. Really wring out your center there. Good, good. All right, use your core to curve your lower back, to bring your thighs into your chest and switch sides. Breathe into the stretch. Notice if your armpit feels tight. Scooch through or extend leg if you're ready for deeper. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All right, come on home. All right, we're gonna use our twisted hips and our hip up together. So this one is a fun one I created. All right, on your backs, knees up, we're going to press our arms into the mat and we're gonna hip up and then we're gonna rotate your hips to the side. So thighs are pointing sideways, yes? Arms down on the side, pelvic floor in, Pilates scoop, shoulders down and back, hip ups with a twist. Twisted hip ups. Shoulders back, neck long, pulling in to rise up. You want to feel it right here in your obliques. Are you swinging your legs? Let's go ahead and reset to the other side. Knees in. Knees close to your chest, twisted hips. So I'm now on my right side. So that means I'm on my right hip. Left hip or the up hip is totally off the ground. Pull in your Pilates scoop and your pelvic floor, shoulders pressed down into the mat and lifting up. Come center, knees in. We're gonna do single leg stretch. Here we go, we'll go up and lower and up and down. Up, head lower, head higher. And knees down, open them side, use your elbows to push your knees away and your hands to bring your ankles in for a butterfly stretch on your back. Rock side to side, lengthen the neck, lengthen the back. Heels up. Knees are pointing straight down if possible, so your shins are vertical. You're using your hands to pull the weight of the knees down and open. This is called happy baby pose in yoga. All right, keeping your knees wide so they don't get to point back to your face, yeah? Open those knees wide like a frog and use your arms to bring your heels together. This will still cause your inner thighs to work, and that's what we're shooting for here. Knees apart, heels together. You look like a frog or a leprechaun, yeah? It doesn't work if your knees are pointing at your face. It's a different exercise. So froggy, froggy. Keep those knees pointed wide. How's your pelvic floor? And extend those legs out, open, out and open, out and open. Stretch in your own way. Your legs do not have to get straight. Bring them up. Hollow out your core. Take your arms around to the base of your neck. And pause for a moment here. Lengthen that neck. Elbows all the way wide. Shoulders anchored down the back. We're going to keep this shape in the neck, head, and shoulders as we come up in the center and twist to your right. Extend your left leg. This exercise is called crisscross in Pilates. Come center, stay up, parallel legs, twist to the other side. Look past your elbow towards the floor. Come up, 2, 3, 4, elbows wide, 2, 3, it's super slow, 2, 3, 4, and twist. Up, and twist. 2, center, and twist. To the side and up, 2, center, and twist. To the side and up, 2, center, and twist. To the side and up, 2, center, and twist. To the side, up, 2, center, finish off, to the side, come center, and let it back down, release those hands, double leg stretch, we bend the thighs towards the chest, and then we send them out nice and long. Take your hands to your pelvis, make sure your scoop stays in. Shoulders down, lengthen that neck. Ribs together, Pilates scoop in. Lifting up through your center, through your pelvic floor. Now, as with all exercises in Pilates, the easier position or the more beginner level position is straight up. As you get a little more challenging to your legs go past the hips just a little bit, so they're on the diagonal. Got to keep that pelvis in neutral. Advanced version is pelvis in neutral. Send it out low. If your back comes off the floor, don't go that far. You won't get stronger by practicing incorrectly. You'll only get stronger by practicing with the alignment you're choosing. Good, feet down. Check your thighs are parallel. One foot can touch the other. We'll roll it up through the back to a nice flat bridge. Stay there. Lift your head up. Check those thighs. Check your pelvis. Pull it in a little more. Arms down. We're going to pulse the hips today. So don't take them all the way down. You're just squeezing your glutes to get a little rise. Press the floor with your full feet. Press that floor. Tiny but effective. To your checklist, pelvic floor, transversus abdominis, aka your Pilates scoop. Ribs together, shoulders down, long neck. All right, we're gonna roll down, starting now. 8. 1 vertebrae at a time. 6. Lower back starts to touch. Lower back fully touch. Release your glutes. Pelvic clock is at 12 o'clock. Give a check to your pelvic floor. And then neutral. And 6. And neutral. 12 o'clock. Roll it up. 8, 7, 6. Hollow it out. Pull your pelvic floor up. 3, 2. Shoulders down. Long neck. Open knees. Bring them parallel. Lower those hips. Push them up. Open knees. Bring them parallel. Lower those hips. Check your pelvic floor. We'll go. Open the knees. Parallel. Boop. Boop. One more. Parallel. Hollow it out. Roll it down. Roll it down. Slow. Touch your lower back before your glutes. All right. Legs up. Good. Give them a hug. Have a little roll. A little rolly roll roll. And rock up. Doop, doop, doop. Let's roll like a ball. That'll be fun. Hands underneath your thighs, shoulders back. Find a very lengthened and uplifted balance point first, and then we curve into a ball to roll to our shoulders, roll back up, and then ding! Straight back is your brakes. No toes on the floor. We go back. Stay round, ding! Grab those feet. Find your balance point. Open leg rocker prep. Straightening one leg and bending it. Keeping your shoulder blades down and back and your chest lifted. Both legs. It's okay if your legs don't get straight. You just want to work where your flexibility will allow and work on keeping that back lifted and straightened. All right, open leg rocker. Remember, you got to hold on to those ankles. Don't let go or you'll get stuck back there. Here we go. Curve the body. You roll back, stay curved, and straighten to stop. Head comes forward. Ding. Make sure that your head makes it up over your pelvis before you straighten your back again. Head, pelvis. Straighten. Roll it back. Ow. I hit my foot against the wall. That's why I was bending my legs. I couldn't figure out why I was doing that. All right, 2 more. Bing. Sometimes I widen my thighs to get a really tall ending. Ding. Look, mono hands. Bring it up. Lower down. Stretch it out. Nice long bodies. Can you reach through your heels? Legs together. Lift up your pelvic floor. Shoulders anchored down. Take those arms up. Bring them back up over your head. Pilates scoops in, pelvic floor is in. Now I want you to think about your rib cage like it's a little tiny vest, a little mini vest. I want you to button that vest tight so it stays down. Now this might mean your arms can't touch the floor. That's okay. Let's just move our arms back up over your shoulders and above your head, keeping your rib cage anchored. Up, 2, down, 2, up. Shoulder blades down, down, 2. Here we go, arms. We're gonna add the head, neck, shoulders. Pause right here. All right, everything in the center is gonna pull back. Your legs are gonna reach out through those heels, and we're gonna fold ourselves up like a tortilla. I know. Definitely doesn't happen the first time you do it. So it's okay if you're working towards it. If you feel the moment where you want to throw yourself to get forward, skip the throw. It's better to claw your way up your hips and to keep not skip the weak part. That place where you want to jump up is your weak spot. All the way back down. Keep your rib, keep your center, and arms. 2, head, neck. Right here, when the ribs come off is jumpy spot. So remember, press down with your abs, rise up, roll down, arms up, head, neck, shoulders. Guess what? Now you get to stretch. You can bend those legs if you like. Big stretch forward. Make sure your knees and toes are both pointing straight up for this stretch because this is a parallel leg stretch. Rise on up. Find a nice upright flat back. Yeah. Lift it in. Shoulders anchored back. We're going to do neck rolls. So that's head, chin tucks down, neck bends, upper back bends, shoulders broaden, and we're curving. Oh, look underneath my armpit at you. We're curving all the way down through the rib cage. But I want your lower back to stay in, up, and tucked. Yeah, so we're still scooping and pulling upwards through the lower body. Now your shoulder blades anchor back in together. That starts to lift you back to straight. Your upper back rises, stacking back on top of ourselves. Our chin comes in, making 16 chins to come long again. And then we end up gazing straight out with our eyes in that starting position. Here we go. Head, neck, shoulders, arms, reach, 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 stretch between your shoulders, lift up your core, come back home. And head down, neck, shoulders, wide, shoulders back, neck, wide, head, neck, shoulders, wide, shoulders, neck, head, up, roll it back down, friends. Do, 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 do. Good job. Right leg's gonna extend up. Single leg circles. So we're gonna take that right leg, we're gonna bend it slightly so it's really easy to see for ourselves that it's turned out. Parallel, turned out, parallel. Turn it out, parallel, turn it out, parallel, turn it out, parallel. All right, hold it, turned out, and single leg circles. Go nice and slow. 4, 3, 2, 1, take it down. 3, 2, 1, and across. 3, check, you're still turned out and up. 2, 3, 1, take it out. Remember, as you go out, you're going to engage the opposite oblique muscles, the opposite side muscles, to anchor down the other hip. We'll go across. 2, 3, 4, and up. How's your hollowed out, lifted pelvic clock? Over. 3, anchor opposition. Down. Up across. And open, oppositional core strength, and down. Last 2 sections, and up. And switch your legs. Turn it out, bend it, just out and parallel. Turn it out, parallel. Turn it out, parallel. If you're not sure, put your hand on your thigh with the thumb. Where does it point? Out to the side, towards your shoulder, out to the side, towards your face and out to the side, towards your face and hold it to the side. We'll come up. 2, squeeze opposition as you go outside, down, cross. And up. We'll go out, squeeze opposition. 3, 4, we'll take it low. Keep pulling up and lifting in your out. How's your turnout? How's your pelvic floor? Finish one more complete circle. Don't let your hip get dragged away by the weight of that leg. Keep it anchored. You got it. Re-engage, finish strong. All right, both legs on up, both legs away, and both legs back. This is called double straight leg stretch. Again, this is a pelvic stabilization exercise. So let's soften the knees, pelvic floor, Pilates scoop, ribs in, shoulders down, arms down by your sides. I want you to press all the way down through those fingertips, almost like you're doing a hip up and legs go. Out super slow, 4 inches. That's all it takes because we're thinking internally. Go. Out. Super small and bring it home. 2, 3, 4, and go. Hold on to your 12 o'clock pelvis. Make sure that your pectoral muscles are not squeezing out. 2, 3, 4, lengthen. 2, bring it. How's your Pilates scoop? Did you remember to breathe? I sure didn't. All right, bring it up and in. Good job, good job. Let's rock up to seated upright and open those knees to a comfortable wide position. Go ahead and rock side to side and just windshield wiper those legs. Windshield wiper the legs. All right. For our question, an additional question today for those of you who are doing documentation and those of you joining us live, I would love to know whether today it felt more challenging to hold your hip stabilization when we were sending our legs out like that double leg stretch. If the more challenging place to hold your hips in 12 o'clock was when your legs were going away from you, or if it felt more challenging today, and this is when your leg goes out to the side and your one hip comes up. So the sideways stabilization or the up-down stabilization. So the sideways hip stabilization, was that the bigger challenge, or the 12 o'clock neutral hip stabilization? What felt more challenging for you today? Totally no wrong answers there, just so that you can kind of take stock of how your body is feeling and what it would be good to do some more work on. All right, so I am rotating, I'm circling my thighs, and as I bend those knees and lift up a little bit, I'm opening my knees back like the froggy. So let's just pulse that, pulse, pulse. In the video, it looks like I'm really pretty far split, but I'm not that far split. It's just because of the warp of the camera. I mean, no, I have perfect 180 splits. That's not true. So really, if I face front, you can see I'm not that wide open, and you don't need to be. But this way you can see the position of my back, so that's why I'm turning it side for you. All right, so open those suckers out, keep them wide. If you can straighten them, feel free, but it's not necessary. Knees open, back up, spinal twist, lift, lift if we're gonna twist. 2, 3, 4, we come center. 2, 3, 4, we go, twist. 2, 3, 4, we come center. 2, 3, 4, we go, twist. Can you look towards the hand that comes front and center? 2, are you pulling it up and twist? 2, 3, 4, and center. Make sure your spine is vertical. Shake them out. 2, 3, 4, shake them out. 6, 7, here we go. Add your 12 o'clock. 2, rise up. 2, twist it. 2, lean it. Drop your shoulder back. Stay right here. Have you done this? Trying to get your head closer? Pull your back shoulder blade down and try and get your bottom rib cage to travel the most. Upright, center. 12 o'clock. Upright. Twist it. Bottom of the rib cage reaches up. 3, 4, up, 6, center. Double time. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, center, 2. 12 o'clock. Neutral. Twist 2, push 2. Up and center. 12 o'clock. Twist 2, up, center, and 2, 3, 2, up, center. Take those legs, shake them out, and walk your chest forward for a final middle stretch. It is much more effective to stretch the inner thighs with your knees bent, even really bent, but your pelvis tipping forward. Rather than if some of us, if we're tight in our hamstrings and we straighten those legs, the pelvis goes back to 12 o'clock and then you're trying to stretch from here. That mostly ends up stretching your back, which is not the goal. Bend those knees, everybody. Get your tailbone behind you and your hips inside of those thighs. You'll get a much more effective middle stretch. I'm gonna let the camera help me here. Big stretch in the middle today. Keep them as bent as works for your body. Walk it over to your right leg and open your arm over your chest. Come center, walk it to the other side. Keep that far hip down, arm up over your chest. Open the arm behind you. Rise up. You did it!